Warning. The following video contains footage that has flashing lights, discomforting topics, and references to themes and terms used within the My Little Pony fandom. If any of these topics are things you are sensitive to, please take the procedures necessary to avoid any negative side effects of this video. Your safety comes first. Thank you for your active participation and awareness.
September 11th is a day that lives on as a day of infamy. It is a day that is regarded as one that should be revered, one that should be looked at as not only a tragedy, but as a warning. It is a day that reminds us and shows us what we as people can fall into during desperation, how we as a society, as people who lean on one another, will eventually fall. It is a reminder that when this happens, we must get back up. Regardless of any hardships that come over us within these times, we must have the resilience to stand tall in the face of them, and keep moving forward. September 11th is also the day SquirrelStapler got a standalone release.
Help me! Look at this fat ass.
Sadly, this video is about the sequel to SquirrelStapler, but anyway. World-renowned Dark Souls 2 Let's Player, David Szymanski, also surprisingly makes games. Who would have thought? No! They're kinda niche. Maybe you heard of them. You know, games like Iron Lung, The Pony Factory, Third One. The list goes on. Today, I wanted to talk about the third game of the Night Fever series, ButchersCreek, which follows the story in the Pony Factory and SquirrelStapler, and just like those two, wears its inspiration on its sleeve. This time being based on condemned criminal origins, a game as old as me, and one that focuses mainly on having an intensive melee combat system, as well as having its setting be based on Manhunt, a game that has done nothing but collect dust in my Steam library. So if there's a person able to properly speak on anything past this moment, it's fucking me. Like most games by David Szymanski, the story is mainly only here if you really want it, and I'll try and keep that to a minimum because I'd rather you play it instead of me explain it to you. But to summarize from what's given, you play as the great-great-grandson of the hunter and SquirrelStapler, who I'll be calling the Chudmeister trademark, for ease this point forward. Anyway, the Chudmeister trademark comes to ButchersCreek looking to get his rocks off to some blood and gore because he's a certified freak hashtag like that, and starts his trek to the center of where all the freaky shit happens. Pennsylvania. Anyway, Chudmeister trademark decides to engage in a hike within the depths of a occult smut section of the Appalachian Mountains, and like every woman that realizes I was serious when I said the name of my sex tape is Bloodsport, gets out of his depth pretty fast. No! After the tutorial, the game throws you into a surprisingly intricate melee combat system for a game that's 2 hours long. But to start, M1 to attack, M2 to defend, move back to dodge. No weapon, M1 to pick up, F to kick. That's the basics, there you go. Even the dumb pissy baby mate like you can do it. So listen up, there's light weapons, medium, and heavy weapons. Pliers, box cutters, pocket knives, boards, and spanners are all light weapons. These are shit. Anyway, pipe is the first one you'll probably find, and the first one you'll probably learn. It's pretty middle of the road all things considered, and the weapon you'll find the most often in places that look part of the environment. The hammer, wrench, and hatchet are all kind of in a similar category of middle ground weapons that actually have a block so we're running like a pussy, or the logical options as I like to call them. They all operate in a similar stature, having similar durability and swing speed to each other. For the third full section of weapons, there are the heavy hitters. Your shovels, sledgehammers, axes, and the pickaxe all have a longer swing and hit slower. There are also other subsections of weapons too that have side effects when you use it, like having no block, short range, long range, or unblockable swings. There's also a secret ability for the bladed weapons that let you get hit instantly with this one simple trick. The swinging patterns of the weapons always swap starting sides after each swing. You're able to move your mouse during this swing to shorten or lengthen the attack, allowing you to get some action faster or engage in group fun more thoroughly. When you don't have anything, you can pick shit up, and just like in Dusk, you can give people the power of a being the smut spelunker that Chudmeister trademark, is they're able to take VHSs and use them to gain maximum health from their initial 50 HP, getting 5 HP for every VHS until they hit a max of 100 HP. There's a subtle risk versus reward gamble with the VHSs, as you can spend them to save the game, but there are so many VHSs and they hold over from each level that you'd have to rush through the levels to even feel the weight of the decision, at least from my perspective. To heal past getting max HP upgrades, you're able to snap a pic of any spice you can find, or if you go where everyone else is, you can get it done for you. Author's note, it's the day after. I forgot to mention that if you hold the parry at the correct moment, you get all your stamina back. And that's kind of cool. That's also kind of the main thing of the game. I forgot to mention that. I'm very sorry. Please don't kill me. If it wasn't obvious by now, over the course of the games there are multiple types of enemies that blast your back out before you can bring it back to the baddies before you shut the fuck up! The first enemy you find is the red fuck, which I hate. He is fat and stupid and walks around before attacking you once, in the same way he always does, before running away. He isn't hard to deal with, and there are 20 per map for every one other enemy you deal with, making him the one enemy you can predict and work with the easiest. Green fucks are the smart assholes that hit differently. They have the ability to use light, medium, and heavy attacks, as opposed to how the basic enemies only get to use the heavy attacks. Fur fucks are the really fast enemies who have horse skulls for heads. This is in reference to the fact that being a brony is the best example to being deserving of legal untouchableness. They're fast and they pin onto you. They are also the only ones in the stripper room that is known for showcasing grandmas, because what trumps the fears of incest better than experience? Fat blue fucks are fat and slow and take a pounding like it's a
anime fan on prom night.
They're my personal favorite fuck in the game and have my favorite design, if you guessed that. I wonder why. Last and sadly least are the invisible shitty fucks that are really stupid and annoying and barely exist in the game. They're the last ones you'll face, and there's only 2 times you'll even deal with them, but they're hard to see with everything being really dark. At least they're alone when you fight them, so it's not the worst thing. Okay, now that you understand the game in full, to the best of my abilities anyway, I'm gonna gush about how awesome this game is. It fucking rocks. I know it's hard to get that point across with my very direct and serious and not at all sarcastic way of saying it, but it's true. One of the things that immediately drew me in, past it being the Zemansky game, is the theming the game surrounds itself in. The majority of the game takes place in these dark and maroon colored areas where you can barely see, letting most of the gameplay be made specifically to put the player on edge. Even if by the final stretch you're kinda sick of it, it's where I found most of the intensity to take place in. This is why I find the time to beat it more of a pro than a con, as it only took me 2.5 hours to beat it, and by that time I was pretty satisfied with the atmosphere. Though, it makes me sad to see the Magic Fairy Castle and Chapel exist in these very interesting plays on the setting, in between Pipe Heaven and Clopping 101. However, credit where it's due, when these are fresh, they rarely work. They're very intense. Especially during the aforementioned Clopping 101. For a level with no enemies in it, it was the one that made me feel the most nervous playing it. Walking down the empty halls with the only sound being the ambiance, being broken by this distorted horse, was one of the times that made me actually get nervous at what was going to happen. Even though nothing does, unless you take a photo for safekeeping. Times like those in the game are what keep the game intense throughout a majority of it. But then there are times that these parts come to, the times where the whole scene stops and swaps to be about how you are canonically worse than the people you're killing. This happens twice. The most jarring of them comes in the Magic Fairy Castle. If you can't tell, this is my favorite level, in which you enter the basement to get the upstairs key. One of the final things needed to go to the next level, Magic Fairy Depths. But the moment you enter into the doorway, the music cuts from the haunting drone of the main level to the heavy guitar within Pneumatic Penetrator by Zemansky's own band, Impact Hammer, which stuck with me so much I'm listening to the original album while writing this section. The song fully transitions you into the gauntlet of combat you're about to go through. Going through the rooms most of the enemies use for their work to also explain the environmental kills, letting you figure out just what you can do with only Home Depot supplies.
fuck are you? God, no, you asshole! Oh, fuck! Fuck did you come from?
ButchersCreek is one of the most tense games I've seen from David Szymanski, and the one that appeals to me the most. Even with its issues of repetition, it's quick enough and intense enough to not disinterest you with the time it takes to beat. It's only $10 on Steam, and it only takes about 2 to 2.5 hours to complete, and, I hope this is clear, was a blast to play in my opinion. I hope this video inspired you to pick it up and was at least something entertaining to watch. If there's a next time, it's Kebby Broth, and it's
To meet you, but it's even better to meet me.
subscribe and whatnot. And if you made it this far, comment your favorite My Little Pony part, and do the Easter eggs in the description. I made them for a reason. Bye bye.